Schoen picks up, and they've got a short field. They've got another goal. It's tied up at 12. I cannot believe what I'm seeing
Can
here.
Lola Dam chase that one down? That is a score for Hartlinger Elferkel. Fantastic run by Julia Love.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge.
And we believe that that requires knocking down the paywall.
We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch, and we want them to go viral.
When you become a member, you enable us to improve our working relationships with tournament organisers, events and federations.
And you'll help us to produce live stories for Ultimate fans, and to generate new fans with our enhanced content.
We are a group of Ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts, and we want to bring you coverage on a more consistent basis. We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Ciao ragazzi, support the community.
Let's subscribe Ulti TV. There's lots of the videos, posting, everything. Check it out. They are the best one. Woo!
If you want to grow Ultimate Sports, become a member of Ulti TV.
Regardez Ulti TV. Deviens membre d'Ulti TV et fais grandir ta communauté.
Top Ulti TV بالمه eroginkime Ultimate vendromena. Si quieres ayudar a Ulti TV, puedes ser miembro de Ulti TV.
Everyone follow Ulti.tv on Instagram, on YouTube. They've got everything.
Best content.
Like their pictures if you love free speech. Just do it.
We're counting on you.
Bli medlem på Ulti TV.
Became member
of Ulti.tv.
Mamma mia.
Contribue au développement d'Ultimate avec Ulti TV.
Like and subscribe. Ulti TV, the best in the world.
We want to grow Ultimate.
we want to grow Ultimate. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We have our signature style 2-camera setup,
With thousands of hours of experience,
and our crew is globally dispersed to facilitate coverage everywhere around the world. We can also scale back our broadcast with just one elevated camera, or scale up with 2 fields, 2 cameras, and 2 commentators on each.
we work with local teams and we all have the same mission, to grow the sport and bring it to new people by providing live coverage and news stories.
Become a member today on our Patreon page.
And fund our work to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories, ideas and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
Good morning and welcome to live coverage from Wrocław. We're in the joint Junior Ultimate Championships. We that are Christina Obermeyer, joined by Rachel Tojnarova. Good morning, Rachel. How are you doing today?
I am doing absolutely lovely. We've just finished a wonderful under-17 mixed game, a very tight matchup between Poland and Belgium, but now we move to the more international side of things. We're back at the under-20 women's category on the WFDF YouTube channel for free. We're streaming here all week, the under-20 category featuring several excellent teams, especially in the under-20s division. We are in the so-called lower power pool. Here is the Italian team. getting ready and hyped up in their huddle. Their prep is actually singing a song that one of the players wrote, and it's all about Frisbee and the joys of playing for a national team.
And we are underway with Canada starting on offense. Nifty inside put. Lee. Collecting for Zhang. Zhang looking for an option. Finds one in her handler right. Italy coming out in a zone to start this game, and Canada huge fakes and working it around with 4 people in the handler set.
A little arrowhead set up out of the Italians, forcing lots of swing passes against these Canadians. As we are approaching the second time slot of today's games, starting at 11 local time, there is a little bit of wind picking up, but not a problem for the Canadians.
Until
the commentator curses them.
I didn't want to blame it all on you, Rachel, but it is a bit fitting. Happens time and time again that we call out something and the complete opposite happens. But the Italian side will pick up and
the Canadians give it right back. Get it right back.
Oh, and an errant throw. Won it a little bit too much. See a replay of that. Defense.
Canelli picked up and tried to go through the break side.
But Jan is here to get that block. So Italy have to work it down the whole way of the field. Lee already here, waiting for Soriano to pick up the disc and put it into play. Huge swing to the side. And the disc is picked up by a Canadian defender who's poaching Zhang just in front of the end zone. Gets the disc forward, up the line and into the end zone for the first goal on the Canadian side.
Not a clean hold, but a hold nonetheless. They were working the disc slightly upwind. It's not too much, but it still counts. And they put a first point on the scoreboard. Canada lead 1-0 over Italy.
Cheer with the score there. So you said not the cleanest of holds, but we'll take a dirty hold. That's fine.
So the WFDF channel not being just the host for the streaming, but also for the YouTube chat discussions. We are more than happy to see you engaging in the YouTube chat. Please just make sure to remember that this is a junior championship and we like to keep it nice and positive, encouraging for these rising stars here at Wrocław. So let us know where you're watching from, who you're cheering for, and what messages and kind words we should pass on to the players on the field. Here is Italy preparing to receive the first pull of the game. It looks like Marshall pulling for Canada.
Great pull that lands just behind the big mark and is collected. Rossi. Big fakes and holstering an upline pass. Gets it to a player, but unfortunate drop there for Italy. Gives a disc back to Canada and around midfield. Oh, and the same thing happens again. Inside shot that is not collected. Grossi quick to pick up and trying to move the disc around. Not letting the defense set, but by now Canada are putting pressure on. So much pressure that there's actually a stall out called on the field. Players are going to discuss it.
So one turnover apiece for both of these sides, I think resulting mostly from the incredibly tight match D that both teams are playing. It seems like it's going to be a physical game in a sense that the players will stay tight on each other. And it looks like a retracted stall-out call, so the disc will stay with Italy.
So instead of an accepted with open hands, the retracted is hands down and waving. Italy will keep possession of the disc, put it into play, and move it up the field. Beautiful around shot, gains a lot of yards for Italy.
Corradini with the grab.
In the middle for Biskeglia. Sanuta. Oh, and there's another turnover in favor of Canada. Just rolling on for quite a bit. Stopped by the Italian defender.
Second chance for the Canadians to get a break on the board. Deep shot goes up immediately, but out of reach of the intended receiver. Disc lands on the ground, but the Italians with a long field to go, again battling that wind.
These quick options of deep shots have not yet worked for Canada. I saw them practice them in their last drill before the warm-up. Oh, but there's a discussion on the field. Maybe a hand block or a foul on that?
Seems to be a discussion between the thrower and the marker. So far, we've seen an excellent display of spirit at all the streamed games that we had the pleasure to watch. All players, despite the language barrier, finally always able to resolve any calls. The volunteers making sure to keep the discussions tight and effective. And thanks to the hand signals, we will now know that this is an accepted foul. The players shake hands.
This explains why the disc curved into the ground so quickly.
And it will go back to the hands of Canada.
Joe. Into the middle. Quick dishes for Canada. And now the big shot goes up into the end zone. Caught and collected by the Canadian player. What a beautiful put. Just perfectly weighted to get into the end zone.
Canada with an early break. They go up 2-0 over Italy. This Canadian team, of course, not maybe having quite the tournament that they were hoping for. They end up in the lower power pool after losing to the Czechs on Universe and trailing by about 2 to Canada.
To France.
To France, yeah. Anyway, let's see the replay one more time. Nice pass into the middle, great leading continuation. Winding up for the backhand shot. And that is
Marshall with
Amelie Marshall with the score. Student at the University of British Columbia out of Ottawa, which is, as I have learned, the right pronunciation for the name of that place from our lovely co-commentator, Troy Weston. But Marshall already having lots of experience under her belt. She's played for Stella. She was on the practice roster for Traffic. Wicked West, another one of those club teams out of, yeah. Anyway, Canada. I'm not gonna have to try and pretend like I have my Canadian geography down. Instead, we're gonna focus on this huge floaty pole that allows the Canadian defense to get there quickly.
And Italy off to the races on offense again. Sanuta on the far side here now, trapped. Gaioli. And a big put up into space. Can she run down with it? Yeah. Great collection in the end zone. I didn't even see that player over there, and then that put was that point was just put into space, and then the player came there out of nowhere to collect that disc.
Corradini comes out of nowhere. She was hiding, and then at the right moment showed herself at that front corner of the end zone on the far sideline. No surprise, she's coming out of Bologna, the Italian powerhouse. She was at first fascinated but how important the spirit of the game is in Ultimate. But then she realized that Ultimate also could give her a chance to meet wonderful people and get a precious deal of experience on multiple areas of life. So not just the sporting experience, but also the community, the spirit, all that. She is also herself a coach for some middle school students that want to eventually make their way to the club scene in Italy. So lovely to see community contributions out of these young players.
You know, for Bologna, I felt like every single one of the players I know or read about, they all coach some kind of team. And I love that they're giving back so much.
And that is exactly how you build a program instead of just one successful team or club.
The Italians know all about it, as they're trailing one break, but want to get that back right here, right now. Arcing pull that will arc into the turf field right behind us, not calculating very well for that wind, I gotta say.
So if we do have wind here in Wrocław at field 1, Pola Marszowe, it will be coming kind of towards the camera lens and slightly from right to left of your screen.
Inside, put into the end zone. Just a little too far out in front for the Canadian receiver. Beautiful inside shot, though.
Canada really looking to utilize that inside channel, but so far not connecting on the shots. Nonetheless, still plenty of time to go. We do play 100-minute games in the under 20 category as opposed to the U17s, who only stay on the field for about 80 minutes, unless they have to go to cap.
So Italy with a chance to get one of the breaks back. Inside channel into a lot of traffic. The Italian receiver comes down with it. Big put up. And that floats too far for both the Canadian defender and Italian receiver.
But a game stoppage might bring the disc back as we see some hand signals of an injury, it seems like. It was the Canadian defender that laid out for that bid, tries to get up immediately, but I think she stepped on the ankle a little bit awkwardly. But the turnover will stand. It will just be tapped back into play. And of course the Canadian player having to stay on the field as that injury was called with no contact. Actually, yeah, never mind. Let's go back to the action on the field. Here is Canada, just about keeping possession.
Loads of body contact there, but Brittany staying with the disc in her hand. Oh, and there's a big hand block for the Italian side, getting them the disc in just around the break mark, and the red zone opportunity there for Italy. Huge arcing throw. Big fakes. Looking for an option, loads of running, and has to put it up into space, into the end zone. Huge collection for Italy, and that's a break back for the Italian side.
What a tight game. Italy steal a break right back off of Canada. That last pass being slightly dubious. It was a good idea to put it in that space, but the throw was hanging just a little too long. But nonetheless, the Italian offense runs it down. This one was the first attempt on the deep shot. Here is the contested catch. Still kept in by Canada. And a huge hand block. That was number 39 for Italy.
Yeah, Giovannini, one of the CUSP side. She played with CUSP at the World Championships as well, I believe.
But is originally from Rimini, the lovely host of the world-famous tournament, Paganello. And no surprise, the teams take a timeout.
And as they're taking a breather, we are as well. We'll leave you with some highlights and be back again in a second. We are back in live action. Canada getting some last-minute instruction by their coaches. Italy already ready to go.
So early breaks out of both of these sides. Canada taking the lead 2-0. Then Italy making to stay close and then adding another break in response to the Canadian one, putting the game back on serve. Here is Canadian offense.
Lee dumps it back to Zhang. Canada running away with it now, no problems with the Italian zone. Zhang in front of the end zone now.
And as we hear the sound of Uomo from the sideline, we know that Italy will be transitioning to match D.
Lee now with the disc. Canada approaching the end zone. Risky business, but calm down with it. Is the Canadian side. What a shot there. Inside, like the outside in.
I think that was Tiffany Zhang with the score, but both teams getting a little bit lucky in that right-hand side of the camera end zone.
Lucky? That was thought out, Rachel. That was
right on the money.
Calculated to the centimeter of her finger touching that disc. Brunny. See her dumping it back and wanting it again, but Lee has another thing in mind, getting end zone eyes over the top.
I think she was going for Alicia Zhang there, not for Tiffany Zhang. But in any case, both Zhangs get the job done.
Works.
And Canada extend their lead 3-2 over Italy.
A lot of people in the chat celebrating Mijou Lee's play. They're like, they're commenting, "Let's go, Mijou."
Oh yeah, the stapler offensive handler for Canada.
Austin, so a big supporter of Mijou Lee, number 0 in Canada.
Keep the positive, encouraging comments coming in. We love you to engage in our chat. Here's Italy running past their break mark, putting up a deep huck immediately. That's a big forehand, but nobody there to collect it.
They seem a bit frustrated, Italy, like wanting to really get that frisbee out of their hands sometimes, where an option might not open up yet, but low disc collected by Canada. They're looking for a break here and then are on the best way to get it until that disc floats out the side of the end zone. Of the end zone. What end zone? No, out the side of the field.
Yeah, Ernest being forced by the tight mark to turn around, not take the reset option. That was made difficult for her. Instead chooses the up line, and the wind just throws that to the ground. So Italy with a chance to redeem themselves. Lots of pressure on that one.
Negroni with a tough catch. Oh, and a beautiful around break to follow it, and a big put up into space. The receiver underneath it that gets it as well for the Italian score.
Bisceglia reels it in for Italy. Again, not a clean offensive hold, but they get it in under pressure. They score in the end zone. Here is the beautiful opening pass from Negroni.
And then Gaioli puts it deep for Bisceglia.
Great effort, though, from Alexis Gagnon to get there on time. She was right on her player, but Bisceglia just able to keep position. Also, another Rimini native playing for Tequila Boom Boom, and got second in the Italian Championship 2022.
Not bad.
Not bad, indeed.
First place is, of course, a very typical
Cusp La Foda affair.
Cusp shout?
Kuzbalafoda as a men's team.
Oh, sorry.
Kuzbalafoda as a
Yeah.
women's. That'd be funny if Kuzbalafoda
had won the women's championship
women's
in
championship.
Italy. Could be. In any case, so we are in the lower power pool, or else if you're looking at the schedule on the WJUC.sport website, it is called the Pool D. Both Canada and Italy so far with 3 wins and 0 losses. I will let you know more about the individual scores of the team so far in a little bit, as Canada all raise up their arms in preparedness of the pool.
That was a great pull by Italy, and Canada picking it up early. Usually to the near side. Brenny back into the middle. Italy working with their arrowhead zone. Canada doing quite well to swing it around. Haven't really found an opening yet to connect with the downfield cutters. Big fakes out of Zhang. Finding Lee and Wright on this near side of the field. Canada now with little pop passes, making yards. Zhang.
That is some good steady flow from the Canadians. This is the first time they've let the stall count rise past 3 seconds, I would say.
And now they run through it and have broken up, open this zone of the Italian side. Just in front of their own end zone now is Lee. Big put into space, collected earlier than I thought. An inside shot into the end zone. Beautiful throw that connects this time. We've talked about them using their inside channels quite a lot, and this throw was perfection for the Canadian side.
Melee Wright finally gets the break shot right. We'll see. You'll get to see it on the replay. She is out of Winnipeg. Her career highlight, of course, making the U20 national team. Look at that perfectly weighted forehand. That was Jan with the score. And, of course, Dean Wright, her father, Millie's father and coach, will be pleased to hear that he is also her sporting hero, because his coaching has helped her improve greatly over the years and got her where she is right now. So I've promised you some results from the lower power pool so far. Canada won over Great Britain 15-3, over Poland 15-0, and most recently played Germany, taking a victory of 15-6. More on Italy after this point. They get ready to receive the pull.
Italy now facing the same or a very similar zone from the Canadian side. Looks like matchup defense now as they're just poaching in the lanes. Connection on the far side. And good movement, good flow by the Italians. A put shot up into the end zone. That was a very quick score and a beautiful clean hold by the Italian side.
They break through the poachy look of the Canadians early. Canadians have that very well rehearsed, but Italy unstartled as they keep the flow going towards this near sideline through the break side. And here's the opening shot from Grossi, and none other than Bisceglia with the score once more. So Italian results in the lower pool. Let me find that for you quickly. They beat Germany only 15-13, but then had an even tighter game against Austria, 15-14, winning on Universe, and then went on to beat Poland 15-4. So this could be potentially the tightest matchup for both of these teams in the lower D pool. Of course, the top 2 teams from this lower pool will have a crossover game against the lower 2 teams, or lowest placing 2 teams from the upper women's pool, where Currently, Czech Republic, USA, New Zealand, and France are battling it out in the same time slot. I will have the live scores for you in a little bit.
Pull goes up from Italy. Lee getting the center and pass at around the brick. This is Italy staying with the zone and the handlers working with it. Zhang is a bit frustrated with not finding any other options. Lee with a huge scuba that is collected at the second attempt, keeping her concentration as cheer. Far side now, just in front of the end zone. Quick movements opening up the Italian zone, and as they're calling for a matchup defense, Canada are switching the side of the attacking side of the disc, and just in front of the end zone now puts it up for the score. Bit of blown coverage by the Italians, I want to say.
Wasn't quite sure what was happening with that last mark. That came way too late given that the Canadians were so close to the end zone, and they immediately used that opportunity to step around, go through the break side, get the shot to the wide open receiver, and they go up once more, 5-4.
Both offenses now look very cleanly out. I'd really love to see a change up in the defense to pressure them again. Maybe 1 point of matchup defense will change their flow.
It could be. We've seen both so far from both teams, both match, both poaches and zones. But in fairness, I think it is the transition that is causing a little bit of trouble. It is a difficult thing to execute even for adult teams, and there's lots to focus on for these young athletes, let alone the pressure of being streamed. In any case, Austria women in the under-20s category currently up 8-0 over Poland. Germans taking a 4-point lead, 5-1 in their game against the British. And maybe the most interesting matchup, besides the one that we're bringing you on the stream, is the USA-Czech Republic. US currently leading 5-3 over the Czechs.
That's close. We know that the Czech Republic are a force to be reckoned with, as Italy try with a big layout to keep the possession alive, but cannot quite come up with it, and Canada looking for a break here. Helwa. And that was a hand block.
Once more, Italy say no.
Another one.
It is that difficult pass where you try to go with your backhand through the forehand side, and sometimes you might find yourself
without a disc. Corradini with the hand block. Credit to her here, but loads of pressure from the Canadian side as there's a layout block to get that disc back for Canada. Just
Huge
a run
bid.
through. Inside shot that is not caught, and that is such a hiccup. The Canadian side giving the disc back to Italy once again. That was an unforced arrow, but lucky because that unforced arrow has another name for the Italian side as well, and another one can't quite come up with the garbage collection. Gives the disc back to Italy, who are dumping it into the end zone now, and that's overthrown by just a little bit, and that point is so messy.
So Bisceglia trying to do the right thing. She sees the receiver streaking. She picks up, but maybe she should stay on the receiving end of things. She's been doing great for Italy so far. But when she tries to score that assist, that throw, with just a little too much edge on it, one more chance for Canada. They rip one up. They have Ernest underneath. She collects in front of the end zone. No continuation so far.
Looks to work. It goes with the reset and wants to pop it in again. Beaulieu looking for an option, goes for the big around to Ernest.
Not quite in the end zone just yet, but Canadians dangerously close to another potential break.
Helwa into the end zone for Ernest, and the receiver redeems Canada for a break.
Erin is really the star of this point. She's gotten several Ds, as well as caught the deep shot that was coming from her teammate and eventually gets the score as well. Only 2 years of playing. That is just so impressive. She's set to look out for her close defense and excellent cutting, and she displayed just that in the last point. Wonderful stuff out of Canada, sneaking another break up there. They go up 6-4 over Italy. And a timeout called.
A timeout called, and as the players are taking a break, we are taking one as well and leave you with some highlights from the previous points.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with Alti TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
We are back in live action here at the Joint Junior Ultimate Championship. Under 20 women's division, Canada taking on Italy. Canada just up one break so far as they started on offense. 6-4 in favor of the North American side, but both teams battling hard, giving it their all in this lower power pool matchup.
Don't be fooled. This game has not been a game of trading points. Both teams forced several breaks out of the other so far, and I don't think they're done just yet. In any case, you might have seen the Alti TV commercial going on. Of course, Alti TV being the streaming provider here at WJUC, the joyous Junior Ultimate Championship, as we like to call it. So please make sure to help spread the potential love for free streaming by following us on social media, our tag being mostly alti.tv. Here's a big put of Italy into the end zone. It's collected. We've almost missed that shot. Italy kicked the disc in celebration. That was a clean offensive hold for them.
Maria Aidonis with the collection here. What a beautiful cut, and that's exactly what Italy needed out of this timeout. A clean hold and something that just clicks, just works, you know.
Of course, Aidonis already being a part of the Italian team in the under-17 division at EYUC 2019. She is half Greek, hence the name that we might be mispronouncing. In any case, as I was saying, try to spread the love. Hit the subscribe button on the Alti TV YouTube channel. Find us on Instagram at alti.tv for some highlights from this tournament. Feel free to share the coverage. Feel free to use our videos, make highlights out of them, make fun videos, make memes, make posts. We love to share the free content. Just be so kind and tag us in the process.
And add us as a collaborator as well, so that we can share your content and puns and funny memes all around for everyone to see.
We're all about getting Ultimate Frisbee to as many players as possible. Here is pull, a big pull out of Italy. Canada on the receiving end.
Lee central handler for this Canadian side, working every other now, trying to dismantle that Italian zone defense. Big movement there by the Canadian handlers at Zhang now. Lee again, looking for an option. Looks for something to gain some yards, and as they do, there's a bit of a miscommunication. Caught well though by Brittany, collecting it. Maybe not the intended target, but that works anyway. Big put into the end zone for Canada, and that's a goal for them. That was beautiful offense through this poachy look. The Italians are pushing on them.
So really both sides, we see them clean up their offensive holds, as the last 2 points have been without a turnover. Lovely stuff out of the Canadians, keeping their little buffer that they were able to generate at the start of the game.
Keeping their little buffer, but wanting to go all the way and get a break now to ideally close the half early. You know, halftime is at 8 points. The game goes to 15 with a short halftime break of 7 minutes. And the games in general are 100 minutes long for this under 20 side. 7-5 the score. Canada with a big pole that is just out of bounds by 1 or 2 meters. Italy are going to collect it at the break point. Soriano to pick up. Oh, they're not taking the break point. They're actually taking it from the sideline. Big shot, but overshot. And this is the break opportunity to go with the half for Canada. Big push off on the mark, but Helwa just accepting that contact. And there's an injury from the Canadian side, injury substitution.
Loving the aggressiveness of Eloa, who picks up the discs actually, because it's every disc after the turnover. She tries to get that D-line offense flowing early, not allowing the Italian defense to set any of their special practice looks. Some good reset defense from Italy.
Nice lefty inside put there. Canada looking for an continuing cut and finds one in Sido Fung. And a collision on the field will cause some discussion. Sido Fung putting the disc in. Oh, but she might just have dropped it. Not so sure what happened there. The disc will go back to Sido Fung, the lefty. Now this disc bobbled but collected up the line now, just in front of the end zone. Ernest looking for an option, finds a reset. A pick call, and that disc is bobbled, and that's a turnover by the definition of WFDF rules. This drop did not affect the pick call.
So that is unfortunate for Canada. They were looking to extend their lead and take the half here by 3, but Italy staying alive in the first half, picking up on the near sideline, near their own end zone.
Having to go backwards though, and the disc is overshot on the around, giving Canada a very good field position just in front of their end zone. And a big inside shot put out into space, but too much air underneath it. That's the disc fly out the side of the end zone.
This time it was Lyonnais who was picking up for Canada, but these players still getting acquainted with the different wind conditions. A little bit of the wind is picking up, so Canada is going upwind in this point. And here is another turnover forced by the Canadian D. And one more chance for Canada to take half.
A big shot goes up this time, arching around. Many bodies underneath it, and the disc hits the ground only.
Again, a lovely display of spirit. Nothing called despite a huddle of players gathering. And a big ripper. We saw the Italian player, the Italian handler, trying to get that mark off of her so that she could put it deep, but the Canadian defenders expected it as well. They get there on time to tip the disc out of the air.
Canada off to the races now, puts up a huge flick, but into the ground only. There were two receivers in the area, but this disc died down too early.
And maybe Canada here just following instructions of trying to tire out the Italian offense, but by making sure that most of their passes on O go forwards.
Which is, you know, a good structure, but sometimes taking that risk and changing the position of attack with the disc is a good idea.
I know, but I still can't do it myself. Italy with a timeout here, knowing that they want to stay alive in this first half, really using all they can to make sure they bring it in. They are going downwind. Throws aren't as hard as going in the other direction. So as we leave you with the Italian flag flickering in the slight Wrocław breeze, we're going to take a short break in the commentary booth ourselves. We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, UltiTV, the best in the world.
Become a member and
fund
our
work to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
We are back live after the timeout taken by Italy. It has been a messy point, but the Italians have started on offense and are planning on getting that point. As much as Canada want that break, we'll see. What are your thoughts on this, Rachel? Who are you rooting for? Canada to get the break or Italy to get that score?
Well, we are always big fans of tight, exciting games. Ideally taken to universe just for you, for the spectators at home, to get a real taste of what it's like to be here in Wrocław, watching these young athletes develop and rise, not just throughout the tournament, but throughout their entire playing career. So I would love for Italy here to score and get maybe another chance to bring this game closer, but second attempt catch. That was a great defensive bid by Canada.
Oh, and she gets that layout as well in the end zone. What a play by Italy, twice to get that.
And already we have the coaches and U20 Italian fans gathering around the screen located in front of their commentary booth to watch the highlight.
Asking us for a replay, but we can't influence that. We want to see the action as well, but tipped, and then she comes down with that disc. Bello.
Great defensive effort by Setofung.
Look at that disc.
She hits that ground hard, but she makes sure to keep that disc in her hands. So again, Italy playing a little bit on the edge here. Couple of lucky catches, but that's never what the history will ask again. All they care about is the final score and whoever comes out victorious out of this matchup. So thank you for all your opinions in the chat, but there has been no call on the field about that disc potentially being down. So please do have respect for the players who are playing a self-officiated sport and so far on the stream doing an excellent job making the right calls and having nice and positive, quick, effective discussions that, if not resolved in favor of one outcome, there's always the possibility of sending the disc back. Here's Canada, an uncharacteristic error, overthrow. Italy with a chance for another break.
Quick to pick up is Grossi. Into the middle. So many Italian bodies around that disc, but managed to get it off. And a big put out of Corradini. Puts it in the end zone, and that's a catch on the second attempt. Another huge play by Bisceglia.
That was Venturi with the score, wasn't it?
Whoever it was. Big one there for Italy, and they're having highlight play after highlight play.
Oh, so it was Bisceglia with the score. You were right, Christina.
Of course I was. I'm always right. No, I'm kidding.
Here's the turnover, despite the layout effort, and almost an immediate hand block on that high release.
Here you go, big fake, and then puts it up there is Corradini. Bisceglia with the second effort.
And Christina, we asked for it. We got it. We are in Galaxy Point. So a lovely tight game here is Italian fans on the sideline. Lance, if you want to see men's, you'll have to wait a little bit. There's some more streaming action coming your way in a little bit. We will have the under-20 mixed division next, but starting at 3 o'clock local time, there will be the under-17 division between Switzerland and Netherlands in the open division, but that will be on the Alti TV YouTube channel, so make sure to hit the subscribe button on both of these. And Galaxy Point starts now in this under-20 women's division. Canada starting on O.
Zhang to Lee. Lee looking for an option, waiting for a long time if some other cuts develop, but Zhang has to go back to right into the steady hands of Lee, and Lee finds an opening as they're slowly working it down the field. Now they found their flow. Have Canada right. Big fake there for Canada. Over the top, and second attempt caught by Zhang, and this is into the end zone now for the score. Easy collection and beautiful offensive flow by Canada, making this Galaxy Point a spectacular show of clinic offense.
Lovely put, lovely leading pass into the end zone by the Canadians. They deservingly, I would say, take the half, despite the heroic effort of Italy, who have made a huge comeback after being down several points. We'll see one more time the replay. High grab, doesn't take it, goes for the second effort, decides against it, tracks it down. Great awareness by Tiffany Zhang. And there is Brudney with the beautiful leading pass for the score.
Brudney, who also played in the World Ultimate Club Championships not 2 weeks ago. So both these teams battling hard, giving you a great matchup here live. And now they will try and get that energy, conserve that energy during the break. And as they're taking a break in the shadow,
We are taking a break as well, and we will be back with you in a few minutes.
Bichon picks up, and they've got a short field. They've got another goal. It's tied up at 12. I cannot believe what I'm seeing
Can
here.
Lola Dam chase that one down?
That is a score for Hasliger Elferkel. Fantastic run by Julia Lutz.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge.
And we believe that requires knocking down the paywall.
We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch, and we want them to go viral.
When you become a member, you enable us to improve our working relationships with tournament organisers, events and federations.
And you'll help us to produce live stories for Ultimate fans, and to generate new fans with our enhanced content.
We are a group of Ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts, and we want to bring you coverage on a more consistent basis. We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Ciao ragazzi, support the community.
Let's subscribe Ulti TV. There's lots of the videos, posting, everything. Check it out. They are the best one. Woo!
If you want to grow Ultimate Sports, become a member of Ulti TV.
Regardez Ulti TV. Deviens membre d'Ulti TV et fais grandir ta communauté.
Stop Ulti TV velmi, eroginkime, ultimate vendromene. Si quieres ayudar a Ulti TV, puedes ser miembro de Ulti TV.
Everyone, follow alti.tv on Instagram, on YouTube. They've got everything.
Best content.
Like their pictures if you love free speech. Just do it.
We're counting on you.
Bli medlem på Ulti TV.
Became member
of Alti.tv.
Mamma mia.
Contribue au développement d'Ultimate avec Ulti TV.
Like and subscribe. Ulti TV, the best in the world.
We want to grow Ultimate.
we want to grow Ultimate. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We have our signature style 2-camera setup,
With thousands of hours of experience,
and our crew is globally dispersed to facilitate coverage everywhere around the world. We can also scale back our broadcast with just one elevated camera, or scale up with 2 fields, 2 cameras, and 2 commentators on each.
we work with local teams and we all have the same mission, to grow the sport and bring it to new people by providing live coverage and new stories.
Become a member today on our Patreon page.
And fund our work to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories, ideas and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with Ulti TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
We are back in second half action in this under 20 women's matchup. Italy taking on Canada. Canada won the Galaxy point 8-7 to go into half, and they will pull to Italy. So we are on serve with this game. Low pull collected by the Italians, and Grossi finds Bugnoli for an inside shot that is defended by Canada. Cho getting a bit of that disc, but a discussion on the field as Pivetta thinks that she might have had control of that disc. And there you have the replay. Players.
The laser shot was a bit too quick for us to be taped. Yeah, we are sort of standing behind the defender, so looks like an accepted foul.
It's very hard to tell, and what good spirit from the Canadian side to accept that foul. Grossi now with a huge fake. Gets the disc into play. Looks for an option, has to go back again to reset, and loads of Italians running around that disc. Grossi now in power position and shooting it deep. Two defenders underneath it. Canada and La Chasseur.
Lovely awareness out of her. She makes sure she gets up early. Canadians go the other way.
La Chasseur with the collection on the side, and then gets it up the line to Beaulieu. Beautiful around shot from right. Connects with Lou Marshall. Beaulieu looks for an option. Stressed. Ernest to Marshall. Marshall fakes away her upline options. Now gets one from Ernest. Fakes away any continuing. Goes around to right. Big disc, high disc collected by her. And she goes flick around into the end zone. And that's a score for Emily Cho. Break for Canada to start the half.
Canada coming out strong in the second half. They kind of started trailing back into getting this game tight during the end of the first half, but they come out streaking this time. It is Emily Cho with the score for Canada, and that was a lovely piece of front stack isolation in the end zone.
It was.
That throw wasn't maybe so perfect, but Cho made sure to track it down, and there was no Italian defender in sight. Now the wind really picking up here at Field 1 of Pola Marszove. We've had a little incident previously of the tents over our production booth flying all over the place, being stopped only by the nets that separate the other fields behind our backs from field number 1. But so far so good. You will eventually see the flickering flags on the other side of the pitch opposite to the camera. So that tells you that the wind is blowing towards the camera lens and directly into our faces. Or you can be here, but sit down. 9-7, Canada leading currently in this lower power pool matchup.
Italy ready to receive the pole. Canada's coach just leaving the field now, and they are off to the races. A big arcing pole finds the hands of the Italian offense. Rossi. Disc into play now. Loads of cuts from the Italians. And receiving the disc on a near side with a big rip into the hands of the Canadians, or the ground rather, and a big one to the other side of the field, and comes down with it is Canada.
And more specifically, Seto Fong And here's a free pass into the end zone, but that's just out of reach. It hits the ground. That was lovely stuff out of Grace Liu earlier. She gets that interception and then a deep shot.
But unfortunate, and you can't imagine the pressure of having a free receiver and no mark, and then just putting up a normal disc is really, really hard to come down. And Italy have to work all the way to the other side of the field now. Up the line shot. Bisceglia. Back into the middle for Grossi. And Corradini now. Grossi around break to Pivetta. Pivetta up the line and a huge flick into the end zone for the Italian score.
Giovannini with the celebration. What a put by Italy. That was right on the money.
Pivetta, who ripped one into the ground earlier, not afraid to take another chance and get that score. That was a very beautiful put. It was so low and then picked up by the wind just enough. Put Giovannini in a perfect position to get that disc.
Yeah, so Pivetta with the unsuccessful hack on the first try, being taken down by Grace Liu, who then had a bit more luck with hers, but Canada lose the disc eventually, and Pivetta gets a second chance. Liu out of Vancouver, still a high school student, but has already been playing for 3 years. Her friends were trying out for a school team in grade A, and she decided, why not? Why not join them? It's her first year on Team Canada, and she's already making big plays for this Canadian D-line. Look at that piece of beauty. Sure to make the highlight reel.
Canada picking up on offense for the first time this half. Lee to Zhang. The two of them really doing the hard work and the handler set for them. Cheer now in a perfect position to be hit by Brittany. And Cheer again with a quick pop pass, but this is Italy's disc now. Tocchini. Finding Canelli. Canelli puts up a high disc that'll be read well by Gaioli, and Gaioli puts up the disc. Many bodies underneath it, and Italy comes down with it.
No way, that was actually caught. And there's a continuation for the break again for Italy. What a play. It's been the story of this game. They go high, they go low, but they're getting all the discs right now. Oh my Lord.
Second score in a row for Giovannini. Seems to be in all the right places right now, but what a play from the Italians. And this is something, a play like this, the plays we've seen in the first half, this creates so much energy for your team, and the whole team feeds off of this.
Exactly. Giovannini, the native of Pianoro, has played for Cusp Shout, and let's get a replay on this one.
We'll see the whole point.
Canelli.
High disc.
Gajoli.
She actually falls down while throwing this. Can't really keep her footing right, and Brittany reading it a bit better, but the Italian actually coming up with the disc and now puts it into space. Idonis.
So once more, we're tied at 9, and I need to make an apology to any people watching with the knowledge of Polish, because apparently I've been saying the name of this place wrong this whole time.
Oh.
I was 100% sure that there was a Z in the word Marszowe, but no, it's just an S. So we are here at Pola Marszowe. Remember the name of this venue because it is a host of a lot of lovely international tournaments. most recently the European Masters Ultimate Club Championship in 2019. Some of these players have paid a visit to the European Youth Ultimate Championship. That was in 2019. And here we are at the Joint Junior Ultimate Championship. A clap and a raised arm from the Canadian team signals the readiness to receive the pole, which will land out of bounds.
Zhang with the disc in her hands. Big fake and goes around to right. That zone from the Italian side being very effective to stop any downfield continuations from Canada. And as I say, they find a hole in the middle. Up the line again. Jan working it so well for this Canadian side. They're just in front of the end zone now with Cheer, putting the disc back to Lee, and Lee going all the way to the middle of the pitch.
Once more we see that.
And that is a goal for Canada. What a beauty there.
And as I put my headphones the other way around on my head, I wanted to say that that Italian transition from zone to match D is so far not been producing the results they were hoping for.
You see that beautiful around shot by Lee. Right, looking for an option, finding Lee again. And an inside break for Jan. And the score for Canada. Beautiful hold for them.
So in the under 20 women's division, we have several matchups going on at the other fields right now. 13-3 is Austria winning over Poland. Germany leading 9-4 over Great Britain. And USA currently 8, but only 8 points up on the Czechs, who have so far managed to get a great entrance into the second half, and they have the number 7 on their scoreboard.
8-7.
Yep.
8-7 for USA versus Czech Republic. That is impeccable.
France leading over New Zealand 10-5 in the upper power pool. But here is Italy and Negroni pinned on the near sideline.
Negroni looking for an option, goes with the inside shot and gets another big hawk, goes up for Italy. And that is another huge disc.
They grab it again. They grab it again. I can't deal. This is too much. I think the Italian girls are just either super excited to be on the stream or just proper show-offs. Like
proper show-offs, yes.
This is sick. This is just sick. And highlight reel from this game is just going to be an instant classic. So Canada taking a timeout. Teams gathering up in their respective huddles as we watch some of the replays from the last point.
And we will leave you with those replays and be back again in a second. We are back at live action. 10-10, the current score. Canada taking on Italy in the under-20 women's division. And Italy has been a single highlight show. This team lays out for anything and comes down with grabs. Nothing Canada can do really to stop those layouts. Many of those shots were 50-50s in my opinion. And this is just, this comes down to luck. I don't want to be rude or discredit the effort that Italy put in, but Canada are doing everything they can in defense to stop all of this.
So what an absolute nail-biter of a game we've had so far. We're tied at 10. Canada still with the upper hand in this. They will get ready to receive the pole, but forced to battle quite a bit of wind going from the left to right on your screen. And here is their steady O-line with Tiffany Zhang walking the disc to the brick mark.
Cheer. Disc in her hand, looking for an option. Goes for the inside to Lee, who fakes the big throws and directs traffic with her 1-3 hand, goes push pass back and gets the disc back immediately as well.
Loving the agility on Lee's fakes on the pivot.
Zhang up the line to Cheer. And Cheer finds right in the middle. Zhang into the end zone now for Jan. And Canada gets a well-deserved score with beautiful offensive possession.
Definitely not the first goal for Jan. And that was a sort of textbook end zone offense from Canada. They go backwards, swing it to the side, and follow up with the continuation. Just perfect. Look at that. They center the disc from Cheer. Immediately take the around from right. And Tiffany Zhang gets slow for that continuation into the end zone. We are about 75 minutes in. Canada in the lead, but only by 1 point. We're playing a 100-minute game unless we reach the 15-point hard cap, which is very difficult to predict at this time whether it will happen in this game or not.
We've seen some very clinical offensive holds, and then we've seen some points that have taken such a long time, and really no team got the better of the other, and it came down to a bit of luck. So I'm sure both teams are going to battle so hard to get that disc, get that point rather. I'll rest until 15, but we'll see what happens. I'm excited for it. Italy stopping that pull.
Kicks the disc rather.
Bonioli up the line to Pivetta.
We know she likes to put it deep, but this time she decides against it.
Grossi. And a pick called as the Canadian players prevent it from following her matchup. Grossi doesn't find an option, goes up the line in the last second. Corradini back into the middle, Grossi now.
So much pressure on that catch. But Bisceglia knows better than to let go.
Putting it back to into Grossi's hands, who's directing traffic now. Doesn't find an option she likes, goes inside shot. What a beautiful put.
And Italy really needing to get off the sideline.
If you work it up the line all the way, but this time does not connect.
I think this is the first time that we don't see a spectacular catch out of Italy. I think it was also the good heads-up D from the Canadian player. Nice collection. Ernest once more proving to be deadly for Canada downfield.
Cameron looking for an option. Finds one in Zhang. Zhang puts up a huge backhand into the end zone. And the only one coming down with it is Pivetta. Heads up defense Grossi with the disc in her hand again, wants the up line, and beautiful stuff at towing the line. Negroni putting a break pass into Grossi's hands, but there's a call on the field and players have been playing on for quite a bit, not noticing the stoppage that has occurred a few passes before.
Cameron calls a stall out on Negroni, and it doesn't look like Negroni will be contesting it. She has accepted that call, and Cameron tries to tap the disc back into play. I don't think that will be necessary under the WFDF rules. And Canada with a first chance to break in quite some time. Ernest gets to the ground.
Cameron Bélanger puts it into Ernest's steady hands for the Canadian break, and that's 12-10 in the favor of the North American side.
That was a bit too easy for the Canadians. Just an easy inside throw into the end zone. And Bélanger with the assist out of Ottawa, Ontario. She says her whole family plays Ultimate. I suppose we should know this if we watched some more of the Huck and Nate podcast, which is hosted by none other than the Canadian U20 women's coach, who is there on the sideline all week with her team. She says that her dad made Team Canada beach the year it was in Dubai. Clearly can't remember how long.
2015.
Yep. See, we've got that information for you. And her mom has been the event coordinator for Ultimate Canada for many years. Her sister plays as well, and she played under 20 with her the last time around, when unfortunately the event got cancelled for COVID.
Oh, that's a pity. I love a little bit of sibling action rather, on the same team. Have you ever played on a national team with your sister before, Rachel?
Yes, I have. We have captained the Czech Republic in 2019 when EUC, the European Ultimate Championship, so the national event for Europeans, happened in Gjør.
Isn't that fun, playing with your sibling?
So fun. But we do better on separate lines. In any case, Canada gets ready to pull as they jump off by 2. And we are entering the last 20 minutes of this game. Lower power pool matchup. Italy versus Canada entering its last stage.
Pugnoli and Grossi working it for this Italian O-line. Grossi with a big gainer up the line, getting every other now. Bisceglia into the steady hands of Corradini, who puts it up for the score for Italy. Another perfect put into Bisceglia, and that is a clean hold for the Italians.
An absolute beast in the end zone. She has scored so many points. We saw her on the assist side of things as well as defensively for some of these points. She's been doing a wonderful job. Lots of touches on the disc for the Italian team. So Italy makes sure to stay close, but that is not the case for some of the other under-20 women's games happening around Field 1. Austria has already won their matchup against Poland.
I'm very happy about this personally, I have to say.
Yes, Christina is Austrian, in case you haven't noticed so far. So heavily invested, 15-4 their victory over Poland. Germany currently leading 10-6 over Great Britain. Czech Republic still battling it out against the US, but 11-8 the score. USA regaining a couple of breaks in the second half. And the last matchup, France Ultimate against New Zealand, 12-6 for the French.
You can see a little bit of that in the back of our stream as they are playing on Field 3 over there. But we are focusing on this matchup here, Canada against Italy. That is a very close one. It has been so spectacular. Pull out of Italy will land on the ground and will be collected by Zhang. Lee with a big jump in the middle of the field. right now on the far side. Back into the hands of Lee. Zhang, inside shot, perfectly put. And that's a big rip into the end zone for the Canadian. Holds Jan, putting another one on her personal scoreboard. And also one for Canada, makes it 13-11.
That's a really important hold for Canada. They keep their 2-point difference. And thank you so much for enjoying the chat as much as we are enjoying the stream. We love to see you get engaged. Please make sure to keep the comments nice and positive, encouraging for the players. Tell us who you're cheering for, but please make sure that when the players have the chance to re-watch these streams and read through the comments, they are happy about what they're seeing. Otherwise, we will struggle to keep the chat column going for you for the rest of the week, which would be a shame because there will be plenty of opportunities for you to comment on the upcoming matchups. We're still only in the second time slot today. Italian sideline still trying to pump up that energy to bring this game close once more and maybe, who knows, bring us to universe.
Italy on the run now. Disconnected on the near side here, right in front of the right cameras. Gaioli with a big put into space, and that is a goal for Aidonis. Jump from Canada, but not as high as the disc was, and that is beautiful stuff out of the Italian side once again.
Arabella Burdney just seems to always be in the right space, but somehow few centimeters, few inches missing for her to get the D. Well, she's still in the under 20 division, so there's still a chance that she will grow a tiny bit to make her a monster defender for Team Canada. But Italy, waste no time, put that one in quick, trying to focus on the defensive side of things and bring us to 13-all. Let's see the replay. They center the disc, and that's a lovely continuation. Gajoli with the assist into the end zone. And the players from the Italian side come to check out the highlights once more on our TV screen, placed conveniently right on the sideline.
So Italy need a break now to win that game.
Well, in my opinion, both of these teams have the quality to top up the lower power pools and still try to get a chance to fight in the semis. But it's every victory that counts in this tournament, just to keep you in place mentally with the winning attitude. And Italy try to startle the Canadian offense with a zone look.
Zhang working with Bratney, and a big shot goes up into a very open receiver. Jan now looking for an option, finds one into the Italian defender, unfortunately for the Canadian side, and that is a break opportunity for Italy, and that is a timeout called by Grossian as they plan out their perfect way to attack. We will take a break and see you again in a second.
Food is here if anyone wants to eat.
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, UltiTV, the best in the world.
Become a member and
fund
our
work
work
to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
He's in a great spot. He's in a perfect spot. Yes, his massive head has blocked everything. That was a huge play, but we have seen none of it. Finny, he's done it.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with UltiTV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
Welcome back after the timeout. Rachel Toshnerova behind the mic together with Kristina Obamaya. We're bringing you the latest action out of Wrocław, Pola Marsove. Italy staying close in the game against Canada with a chance to break and make it tight once more. If you're loving all this free streaming action happening at the WFDF YouTube channel, we also have under 17 games on the UltiTV YouTube channel. And if you would like to support free streaming of Ultimate, please try to share our content, hit all the subscribe buttons, find us on social media, and you can even become our patron on patreon.com/UltiTV.
A big gainer for the Italian side. Another one just following in the form of Gaioli over towards the other side of the field. Pivetta suspiciously open. This goes back to Rossi. Grassi has a disc in her hands and finds an open option in Gaioli. Into Corradini now. Gaioli finds Grassi once again. Grassi with a big fake. Swings it back to the middle. And another big put and beautifully collected by Bischela. Grassi looking for an option. Finds another up the line shot. They love their up the lines and working in small spaces, do the Italians. Corradini.
Italy's still stuck on that near sideline. They have to go for a hammer, and that is just heartbreak because an overshot dump is the most painful thing to watch. Canada quickly move the other way.
The wind pushing that disc down and Sang directing traffic, and Brodney not coming down with this, unfortunately, a beautiful layout to try and keep possession alive, but she just cannot connect. And Lee walking up to mark Grossi. What a good matchup we have there. Grossi looking for an option. Goes around. Into the hands of Gaioli on the near side now. Faking the lefty backhand. And goes high up around. The dead disc doesn't connect either. And another errant reset. And Rachel, I completely agree with you. Getting a turnover from a reset hurts. Getting a turnover from the reset in your opponents, in front of your opponents attacking end zone is even worse. And we see that beautiful collection there from the Canadians and just out of the hands of Brodney.
That is great spirit from Brodney to admit immediately that that was down. That is so unfortunate for her. She's been open twice completely and just a slightly... Never mind, Canadians get it back.
That's Alicia Zhang with the pickup here for getting that disc before it can hit the ground, or a nifty Italian shot going to Tiffany Zhang.
Disc stays with her.
A round shot to Cheer. High release, and Lee just can't come up with it, but there is a player just in that space. There's a player on the ground. See that replay here. Right. To Zhang.
You can stay, but you have to sit down. So a discussion about whether the contact between the other players has affected the play on that last disc.
Yeah, there's an injury call for sure, so injury substitution will happen.
Colin W, we see you. Thanks for sharing. We would encourage all the other fans in the YouTube chat to do the same. If you're loving our content, feel free to use it. Just add us as a collaborator so that we can give you a shout out in front of our followers and fans as well. So as Canada take a sup of what hopefully doesn't look like anything serious. Oh, Colin, I take that back. No more shout outs for you. So it seems like it is still unclear whether the disc will stay in possession of the Canadians. Here is the Italian contingent in the stands next to field number 1. Block him too. So in the meantime, still some games being played out. Let me check quickly on the next tightest game in this division, which was USA Czech Republic, but it seems like the second half was a one-sided story. 15-8 is that the final score of that game. We have France winning over New Zealand 15-6. So the last 2 games in these divisions that haven't ended yet is Germany, who is currently winning 12-7 over GB. And then, of course, this one, which is very tight and approaching the last 5 minutes of its duration. And as we have no game advisors on the pitches of Wrocław, it will be the players who will have to come up with a solution to this final situation.
As it always is in Frisbee, the players can decide for themselves. And they do so. They will do so. It's always tough in conditions like that, where it's a very tight game and there's multiple things happening at once. It seems like players have resolved. And Zhang for Canada will keep possession of the disc in front of the end zone.
Tiffany Zhang, number 5, the stellar handler for Canada, sets up on the far sideline, right in the corner, right on the cone of the end zone that Canada will try to attack.
A violation called on the field.
So now one more short discussion about the stall out. Disc tapped back into play.
Zhang around to Brutney. Low fake from Brutney. Puts the disc up in the end zone, and that's a score for Canada. Cheer with the collection.
Brooklyn cheer takes Canada to 14. They keep their 2-point lead, find themselves within one of the potential, not potential, of the actual heart cap, which is 15, as it is the case at most tournaments, be it national or international. Italy with their heads hanging slightly lower than towards the start of the second half. And it is no wonder that with a potential game point on our hands, the teams take another timeout. So one more possibility for you to get a breather before either Canada takes this game home or Italy will they be making a huge comeback. We're about to find out. For now, we're checking out.
Right now, he's gonna have to bid. Just a football.
Huge layout block, unbelievable stuff on the front corner of the end zone.
Maybe just that boost of energy they needed.
Huge swing pass and a great grab there from Steer.
We are back in live action. Potential last point of the game if Canada manages to get a break here, but Italy will try everything to prevent this, and they have been looking clinical on offense at times. Big throw goes up, but into nowhere as Canada set a break chance for the W.
Canada setting up in a side stack, trying to bring this one home, but still a long way to go. Try to go through the break side, there's nothing there. Wide swing instead to Zhang.
Zhang goes up the line, but there's a stall out call that is contested over at the start.
So this goes back to the far sideline.
Marshall gives a disc back to her reset option in Zhang. As a turnover with a stall out is retracted. Zhang puts the disc up for Le Chasseur.
Good poach in the open side by the Italians.
Cho finds the middle of the field and Zhang puts it up in the middle. Brotney with a huge disc up into the end zone. Canadian receivers underneath it, and that is game for Canada for 15-12, of course. Marshall with the final score. Well played from the Canadian side, but such a good fight from Italy as well.
Christina, what a game. Canada and Italy keeping it tight all the way until the last part, where Canada really took off, made sure they reel in that 1 point before last, making it 14-12, and then capitalize on the mistake for Italy, winning 15-12 and dominating the lower power pool for the women's. But Italy not too far behind. I think they will get second, but still more games to be played out. It was a lovely display of some women's ultimate. Thank you so much for engaging in the chat, cheering on your favorite players. I think it must have been Lee, number 0 on Canada, getting the most love from her friends and teammates, possibly, or else charges. And
anyway, thank you very much for tuning in and joining us here. Don't go anywhere though, because there's so much more live action to come today. We've got under 20 mixed division, lower pool. Up next, the Netherlands taking on Israel here on the WFDF channel, on under 17 open and under 20 open later today, both on the WFDF and on Ulti TV channel for all the European action. For Rachel Tojnarova, I've been Christina Overmeyer, and I hope to see you again soon.
Ulti.tv